I grew up in a very abusive and neglectful home. I was told constantly that I was stupid, ugly, and unwanted. I lived with a stepfather who worked to destroy any kind of self-worth I possessed, and a mother too afraid of how she would be perceived by others to stop it. By the age of 6, I felt that I was all I had and life was about survival. I was raped by a neighbor when I was 7. I didn't tell anyone because I was bad and it must have been my fault, right? The physical, emotional, and psychological abuse continued until I was 13. Things took a strange turn around that time until right before my 14th birthday, when my stepfather began a new type of abuse. He began to molest me on an almost daily basis. I didn't tell anyone because I was bad and it must be my fault, right? I remember being confused, scared, lonely, and angry all of the time, feeling totally unloved and unwanted and desperately wanting someone to want me and love me somehow, some way. When I was 19, I became pregnant. I was devastated. After a week of feeling sorry for myself, I was determined. I went to the church for the first time in years, and I met someone there who completely changed my life. His name was Jesus, and I fell in love. I say that God had to hit me upside my head with something really big to get my attention, and becoming a mother was pretty big. I took a lot of big steps because of this new love. I stood up to my stepfather and confronted him with what he was and what he was doing. He left 2 weeks later. I told my mother the truth about my childhood and my adolescence and what had been going on. I received counseling to overcome the trauma I had suffered, and I married the father of my baby. A few years later, a verse that I had heard so many times before impacted me in a new and profound way. Romans 8:28 says, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." I looked back at my life and I could see how God was using all of the pain the enemy was causing to my good and to my benefit. That stepfather situation, living with him put me in a geographical location to meet my husband, the kindest, most loving, and understanding human I've ever met, and second only to my salvation in order of gifts that I've received. The teenage pregnancy, that's how I met Jesus. The abuse and the neglect, it taught me how not to parent, a job that I feel that I'm doing pretty well at. A few years ago, God had moved in my life in a mighty way, and I was looking for a way to give back. I asked Him what He wanted me to do, and I felt Him telling me to use what I had. I told Him that this broken, abused little girl was all that I had, and He said, "Yes, use it." I began a support group for victims of sexual abuse and assault. I'm in the middle of leading it for the second time and have met some of the strongest, fiercest, most loving women I have ever come into contact with. God loved me, called me, and blessed me way before I heard Him, and is continuing to do so every day. Me and God are pretty tight, and He loves me like no other. He's waiting to show you just how precious you are too.